welcome. Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to be with everyone here in the room and lovely to be with everyone watching us online. And so I'm Reverend Debora Gay. I'm the staff minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Bellingham. And it's my joy to be with you today as your speaker. And I just want to welcome everyone in, and let's settle in and begin with song and stand if you're able.
Good morning, everyone. All right, let's sing Staying on Spirit together. I woke up this morning with my mind staying on Spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind staying on Spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind staying on Spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind staying on Spirit. Walking and talking with my mind staying on Spirit. Oh yeah, we're walking and talking with my mind staying on Spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. You can't blame your neighbor with your mind staying on Spirit. You can't blame your neighbor with your mind staying on Spirit. You can't blame your neighbor with your mind staying on Spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, sing it out. I woke up this morning with my mind staying on Spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind staying on Spirit. Oh yes, I woke up this morning with my mind staying on Spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. One more time. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah, well, take a minute. Thank you. Take a minute to greet some of those lovely faces out there. We need a clap. I almost dropped the guitar just so I could be like. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 All right, well, we're going to invite any of the kids who are here with us today. We have a couple teachers who will meet you up on the stage. Come join them, and we're going to sing you out into this beautiful false spring day. The idea of spring. Hooray for the world, we're glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. The world's got trees and bumblebees, rivers and lakes and the open seas, mountains and valleys and the animals too, and a sun that shines on me and you. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. We got Mother Nature and the human race.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rylan. I'm your practitioner of the day, along with anyone else you see wearing one of these. We're all here to listen, to hear, to pray, and to know the truth for you. So I would like to invite you all to please join me in a moment of prayer. Join me in knowing that there is only one divine presence, one power of love, of joy, of peace, one ultimate beauty. And that beauty is alive here now in all of us and in the world around us. We see it in the beautiful spring day. We see it in the joy on each other's faces and on the wonderful, wonderful light shining from our young ones. And as we open ourselves up to that presence, to that joy, to that beauty, to that love, that power of life flows through us. We are connected to the one Spirit. We are connected to each other and to the world and everyone in it. And through that connection, we know the truth. We know that this world is a world of love, and that love and joy and peace are the inner power of every person, of every being. And this world flows from that love. We all flow from that love and connect with one another on that vibrating energy wave of love. And I am so grateful to be connected to this web of love and joy and to this wonderful community. And I release these words into the law, knowing that they are so. And so it is.
When I let go flow how it's meant to. When I let go, love can flow in all ways. To me, through me, alive in everything. When I let go, love can flow how it's meant to. When I let go, love can flow how it's meant to. When I let go, love can flow in all ways. To me, through me, alive in everything. When I let go, love can flow how it's meant to. When I let go, love can flow how it's meant to. When I let go, love can flow in all ways. To me, through me, alive in everything. When I let go, love can flow how it's meant to. Well, about once a year, we revisit this song. I feel like it's always inspired by the sun. When the sun starts to come out, I'm like, yeah, that's the one I want to do. You might be familiar with this one. Anything I want to say about it? It just felt like it wanted to be shared today. A lot of the lyrics in this song are, it feels to me like settling in and breathing in the air that's around us and noticing the beauty that's all around and noticing how there's a direction we can go by just witnessing what's around us. And I feel like my clarity comes in the chaos when I sit back and just observe nature. So I feel like this song is the medicine for me right now. Follow the sun, and which way the wind blows when this day is done. Breathe in the air, set your intentions, dream with care. Today is a new the sun, the direction of the bird, the direction of love.
I'm glad you listened to let that song be sung. Lovely, lovely. Today's topic is about change. I feel like change has speeded up, even in the last few weeks, change is speeding up from what it was. It's always seemingly been pretty fast, but boy, last 6 weeks have been something, haven't they? So we're living in times of great turmoil, great change, and it can feel like sometimes we're drowning in all of that. The metaphor of the sea, the changing tides, in and out of the waves, it's in constant movement, just like us, just like our lives. But the idea that I want to talk about today is how to navigate this turmoil so that you are the one making choices for how you are responding to the world. And Science of Mind is full of tools and philosophies and understanding of how the world works that help us in times when it can be feeling like you just got caught in a riptide. Those of you that are familiar with oceans, there's a riptide that can just take you away, and there is no way you're going to beat the strength of a riptide. But if you know the technique, you can eventually swim to the side of the riptide and then swim back into shore. That's what I'm hoping to provide you, some techniques about how to not be overtaken by the riptide. So let's first just talk about how our brain is wired. So our brain craves stimulation. And when we're mainly in that mental part of ourselves, it's easy to get bored and it's easy to get restless. And when we're bored and restless is when we start turning to scrolling Facebook, watching YouTube videos, other forms of addictions, food, shopping, something to stimulate that mind that is hungry for something. And the hunger in us is not being satisfied, but we keep trying out these different things, right? And we maybe go into automatic pilot or go into unconscious behavior and wake up to, I've been an hour on my phone scrolling. That's happening. I've been spending some time with a beautiful book by Eckhart Tolle called Stillness Speaks. This is the guy that wrote The Power of Now. But this is very much about your brain and what it does for us and takes us on a ride. So when you feel bored, you can satisfy the mind's hunger by picking up a magazine, making a phone call, switching on the TV, surfing the web, going shopping, or eating, for example. Instead of this, you can stay bored and restless and observe what it feels like to be bored and restless. You're bringing awareness to the feeling. And with that awareness, there is suddenly some space and some stillness about it. It might be just a little bit at first, but in time, a sense of an inner space grows, and the feeling of boredom begins to diminish in intensity and significance. So even boredom can teach you something about who you are and who you are not. So the bored brain is hungry for something. Science of Mind has something to say about that hunger. We live in a world, Science of Mind is the philosophy behind Center for Spiritual Living. So for those of you that might be new to us, you'll hear that term. And it's just simply a way of understanding the philosophy and understanding kind of what is constant and essential and of essence about life and what is constantly changing and of the world of effects. So I'll go into that a little bit more. So in this constant movement that we're living in now, there's so much false information coming out. Social media can lead us into this idea that who we are comes from the outside. So who we are comes from the culture we're in, the social conditioning we're in, but that's not really the essence, right, of who we are. It's apparently real to our senses, this physical world. The 5 senses are telling us this is reality. But Science of Mind has a perspective where when you go behind the world of effects, go behind the physical data, there is something else. That there is an intelligence guiding life. There is a divine cause guiding life. There are many, many words for it. Traditional language in a Christian setting would be, there is a God behind it. In Science of Mind, it's more there is a creative force. There is an intelligence. There is a oneness behind all of this world of effects. And this is called the principle of oneness or unity consciousness. So assume for a while that that is true. And if that is true, how can we use it to help us? So we can navigate better the ups and downs of life by centering ourselves and pausing in all of the doing in the world of effects. If we're able to stop the doing and create a little space, we can observe our thoughts. And in the next step, if we can stop being so hard on ourselves and being critical and judgmental of our thoughts, and simply observe, what am I thinking right now? This is then allowing space for an uplift into something higher, which is connection to that unity consciousness. And we can practice it, we can learn to do it more easily, entering into this oneness through regular habits built by spiritual practices. So spiritual practices are things like meditation and walking in nature, yoga, or other forms of moving you into a greater sense of self. Today I'm going to give you a method with 3 steps that will help you find your own connection to that oneness or that own unity connection, so that you can stop feeling so buffeted by the winds of change or so twisted up so that you kind of forget the essence of who you are because you're focused on an outside world. So part 1 here, the first step, is creating that pause in the doing. So there's a big difference between living unconsciously, which means repeating patterns of your life in a routine kind of way, and you're not really thinking about it anymore. A difference between that and then living consciously is that at least for some part of your life, you're actually making a conscious choice about how I want to spend my life, my time, my talent, my treasure. That's a conscious choice of living. And it's an internal way of living. It's sort of like your inside truth tells you how you want to live on the outside. Unconscious behavior, we are more driven by what other people think about us, or what we think other people think about us, or what our culture is telling us to do. So it's trying to figure yourself out from the outside in, So what are the rules of my culture? How do I fit in with the crowd? That's the way I should be. And in doing that, you lose that sense of connection with your own uniqueness, your own essence. So this can be called waking up. And a step of waking up can be, at first, sort of the protest period where you're really pissed off about how much you've had to conform. Because you become clear of it. And so you can find yourself protesting against customs or institutions or the established rules about how you're supposed to live your life. But taking a pause in how you're living your life helps you get some perspective or some distance on the routines that you're using to live. So let me tell you my story about how I became more conscious. It was the time that I was going through a divorce. Nothing like a significant shift in your life to make you pause. So I'm very happy. I went to therapy and I got a great therapist. And she helped me see that I had been living my life according to the expectation of others, the outside world. I had a great career, I had a very nice spouse, I had a lovely home, and I was hungering for something deeper than that. I was also shut off from my emotions. So my therapist helped me to understand that if I wanted the emotions of joy and happiness, I also had to feel the harder ones. I had to feel the fear, I had to feel anger, I had to feel jealousy, I had to feel the breaking open of my heart. So it's this combination of starting to become more conscious of how I'm living my life, the choices I'm making, and letting my emotions be a guidance system for me, that I can feel an emotion and not judge it, but let it tell me, what am I experiencing? What is that emotion trying to tell me? Is it an emotion of fear and pain and anger? Is it an emotion of joy and happiness and connection? So I'm becoming more conversant with my own internal language. So about the same time, I found the Center for Spiritual Living and started to take classes in Science of Mind. And that's where I found that connection of my one little individual life to all that is, to the wholeness that all that is. And that's what the hunger was, that I was craving to be part of something bigger than just my individual survival as a one person alone. So there is something about that connection that you get, which is a nonverbal experience of the connection to life itself. Now, the way to get there more habitually is through spiritual practice. And there's times where you get a clue, a wake-up call, I'm really out of the flow of life right now. And one of those is when you start to feel lost and alone. And so that's a good moment to pause and to breathe. When you start hearing language of I'm a victim in your mind, everything bad happens to me. When you start letting something outside of you, your physical self, define you. So that can be age, nationality, language, color, sexuality, gender, anything physical that you're letting the outside world define you. You can replace those negative thoughts with things that are more supportive to the life that you're trying to build. And one is when you realize that you really are the builder or the architect of your life, And when these positive thoughts lead you out of isolation into a connection to something bigger than that isolation. So once you've taken the pause, the next step is to watch and to listen in the silence. And spiritual practices help us listen in the silence. So we can learn to listen to the sounds, to the thoughts, to the words that are in our mind, and pay attention. What are we telling ourselves every morning when we wake up? What are we identifying with? What is life mirroring back to us when we go out to work or to study or to shop or to be in our spiritual community? Those are all methods of watching and listening. And when we observe what's coming to mind, what are the thoughts that are coming to mind, without judgment, without criticize them, but rather just listening, it's easier then to get out of the box or out of the bubble that you have put yourself in to describe who you are. Those thoughts are part of how we've learned to define ourselves. Who am I? What am I? What am I? Potential. What is it possible for me? And we can learn to distance ourselves from that false definition, if that's a box that doesn't fit you anymore. So Tolle says this: when you stop believing everything you think, you step out of the thinking. And you see clearly that the thinker is not the only thing you are. So our culture is very mentally oriented, and it emphasizes the thinking. But there's the feeling part, and there's the part of you that is eternal, that part behind the world of the senses, the physical world. So I've used a technique for myself, and I'll just throw it out there because it's really, really simple. It's a technique that my intuition taught me. When I become conscious that I'm in a pattern of repeating negative thoughts about myself, something like, I'm so stupid. How come I keep making that same mistake over and over again? How come I said that stupid thing? That was absolutely the wrong thing to say. Whatever your version is of that, is an opportunity. What I did, what my internal self knew to do, was start to create a mantra and just start to say in my own mind, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And that mantra overrides the negative pattern to the point that sometimes I'm not even aware of that's happening, but I'll kind of become conscious and hear in my mind, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I know that the mantra is working to clear out and create space, let loose whatever that negative thinking pattern was. So we are pausing, we're watching and listening, and then the third step here is moving back into the flow. Back into the flow of light. In doing these three things, you're creating an opening for a shift, a different way of living. Because that clearing stuff out empties the emotions and the thoughts that are not helping you or are limiting you, and creating an opening to let intuition and divine wisdom enter into your body and express yourself in a state of oneness, in a state of connection. And intuition is always speaking to us, and it's speaking to us in silence. So you have to create the silence and create the space so you can hear the inner voice, the intuition. But if we can become more comfortable with living this way. It's called living from the inside out. You can more naturally flow with the changes that are going on. You're more naturally living in a connected way with all of life. So it's not easy, and it doesn't happen all at once. I'll tell you my own story with this. Some of you know that since last May, I've been in a lot of pain from a lower back injury and a sciatic nerve issue. And I did all of the doing I knew how to do, all the Western medicine, science of mind techniques, Eastern medicine, mystical traditions. And it was not shifting. It was not shifting, and it certainly wasn't shifting on the schedule that I wanted it to be, which was yesterday, right? And I was starting to lose those things that are precious to me. Walking in the forest, walking in the parks, where I live, is a really important part of my spiritual life, and I was losing that. And so I was on a journey of pain and patience. And then one day in January, just a couple months ago, I woke up without pain. Now, it had been getting better. You know, I was doing acupuncture and physical therapy, and I could feel it was slowly loosening up. But one morning it was gone. The pain was gone. I had feared the pain, I had resisted the pain, and I finally surrendered to the pain. And that was the journey for me. You know, Western medicine couldn't give me a pill well, it could give me a shot or a surgery. It wasn't that kind of injury. It was my journey of going through whatever this release was of the pain. And I can now walk. I am so happy with the spring coming. I'm doing now 1 to 2 miles a day in my forest, my personal forest. That's in Northern State Recreational Center. And finding my joy, finding my happiness again. And so that's what I wish for all of us, is that we find that path back into the balance, back into the flow of life itself. And that path of letting go of resistance and surrendering to what is the door through. And finally, I want to add something that came through to me intuitively, really needs to be the 4th step. So this time I'll break the rules and have you 4 steps and not just 3. But truly I have found that moving from coping and surviving to something much more like thriving, the key to thriving can be really living a life of gratitude. And so that's what I would recommend to you as your step to truly lift into a thriving life, is to build a habit of gratitude. And it can be very, very simple. It can be as simple as throughout your day, looking around and noticing, I'm very grateful for this great chair I'm sitting in at my desk. I'm so grateful I look out my window and see sunshine. I'm so grateful there's a neighbor walking by and I have a sense of connection to the neighborhood that I live in. Whatever little thing you can be grateful for. What this is about is a science of mind term for a principle called the law of correspondence. It's a little bit like the law of attraction. It's really what you're focusing on, gratitude in this example, has a certain mental state to it. It has a higher mental state than being in anger or fear or frustration. So if you can train yourself to be regularly in a higher mental state of gratitude, you're lifting your own ability to correspond with other people and activities that are at that same higher state of mental awareness. Now, we all know it's fun to hang out and gripe and complain and be angry with each other. That's a way of forming community. but it is a fairly low level of community connection. But just like if you are regularly revving up your law of correspondence to be at the level of gratitude, you're going to start to see other people, have other people enter and be attracted to you because they too are vibrating at that level, a higher mental level of gratitude than of fear and anger. And guess what? You'll get more gratitude in your life. Now you can also, I'm starting to notice myself, what I'm doing is I'm also taking that next step, which is, how can I bring more fun and more happiness into my life? And then I start doing more of those things that are fun. And guess what? Who's there with me when I'm doing something that's actually fun? People that are also having fun. You're vibrating at the level that you want to live at. You're attracting people who also want to live at that level. And you've lifted yourself up out of group consciousness, out of your cultural lowest common denominator. You are consciously making choices to direct your own life, not unconsciously just going with the outside world. So there are lots of gratitude practices. Use any technique that works for the kind of person you are, but just regularly develop that habit and watch what happens. You are your own science experiment. It is just fine to listen to somebody give suggestions and possibilities, but you are the one that makes it real for you. My going through that experience of releasing the pain of my sciatica nerve is one of the biggest lessons I take in my life. I've proved something very deep and profound to myself. That's what I hope you do for yourself. Prove it. Prove it to yourself. Make your life sing, hear, see, feel at the level that you want to be living. Don't let it be controlled by the forces coming in from the outside. Conscious living. So just to remember, those 3 steps are, you take a moment to pause your doing. You observe your thoughts without judgment in the silence. And you remember that you are part of this bigger thing, this flow of life. You are part of the unity of life. And add to it this 4th step, which is throughout your day, move from just surviving and coping to thriving by being in gratitude for all that is pleasing you about your experience and your day. So with this, let's take all this into prayer. So I'll just ask you to breathe in. Just releasing. Become present to this moment. And as we all lean into this knowing, this intuition level, this guidance from the inside, we create in our own mind's eye that field of unity, that place of all potential, all wisdom, all creativity, all possibility. And just feel in this moment that you are part of this larger web that is life with a capital L itself. You are an individual and a perfect aspect of the greater life. So you have one foot in this big matrix that is life, and one foot in this individual life that you are living right here and right now. And so we call in this inner knowing, this guidance, this wisdom to assist us to more consciously make the decisions of our life. And as you are sitting in that silence and listening to your intuition, let it guide each of us. What is my next step to take this day? How do I create more love, more enjoyment, more happiness in my life? What is mine to release and let go of that is now too small for the life that I know I am here to live? And let that inner guidance speak clearly and strongly and concretely for you, each moment and each day, with each breath and each step. So I'm so grateful to be with each of you this day. It is a good day, as are we. And with this, I simply say with you, and so it is. Oh, yeah, it's now time for us to do our offering. So our ushers will come forward. And I know many, many of you are on automatic giving, and if you are, you can simply grab one of these cards and put it in so you have the ritual. And you can use the scan on your phone if you'd like to donate. Any way that feels good for you. Knowing that we are so, so grateful for every way you contribute to this community. And with this, we'll go to song.
All I love is all around me. There is like a sea of open water, the trees that rise above. I know that I am worthy of the gifts that love can bring. All I love is all around me. Love is everything. All I love is all around me. All around me there is love. Lifts me up if I let it, especially when I give it up. There is no limit to its magic, so I raise my voice and sing. All I love is all around me. Love is everything. Sing, love is everything. Love is everything.
It's the first Sunday of the month, and we have begun a tradition that in the first Sundays, a member of our transition committee gives a report or an update on how things are going in the transition process. And so today, Rana is coming up to tell us she is not only a practitioner, but she is also an adjunct board member and a member of the transition team. Thanks.
Good morning. There we are. Good, good. Thank you. So as Rev Debora said, my name is Ronna Biggs, and I'm here to just share a little bit more about our status for the senior minister transition process. And March is really going to be chock full of activity, and I want to borrow a metaphor that President Dan Dietrich shared the other day in talking about we're really one river that's flowing and moving together. And sometimes when you look at a river, it branches a little bit and it needs to go around a bend or take a little bit of a turn. It's still the same river. And that's been really helpful because we have now a couple of processes that we're going to start here in March. And so we're still moving together, but there's a little jog out this way and a little jog out that way as we start two really significant elements. So the first element, and this will likely be on a slide a little bit later, but I want to talk a little bit about a new workshop that our interim minister, Reverend Bob Dean, is going to be doing next Sunday. So in February, there were two workshops that Dr. Bob did, and there were about 50 people that attended each workshop. And the next segment that he's looking at is really about our relationship to that senior minister position in particular. And I want to read a little bit of his description because that may not be on the slide. It'll be in the online announcements, but it's an important piece. The workshop is called Imagining Our New Minister, Part 1, Releasing What Went Before. And Dr. Bob writes, we hold a special place in our hearts for the wonderful work of Dr. Andrea Acevedo as our former senior minister. Her givingness and love have enriched CSL Bellingham and its community profoundly. The impact of her ministry will forever be a part of the story and the life of CSL Bellingham. As we begin to envision a new spiritual leader, it is important for us to release gently our attachment to Dr. Andrea as senior minister. Doing so is a loving and liberating step for both ourselves and Dr. Andrea as we navigate through a range of feelings and thoughts. And this really becomes a very important point, I think, in our next evolution as we're progressing in this process, because it's really about, I imagine I'm a very visual person, and so I sort of imagine this person, unknown to us but known in the mind of God, who will be our next senior minister. And it's about sort of acknowledging and letting go of Dr. Andrea in that way and having a clean palette for us to be able to see who's stepping into that role and begin to really imagine and create space for that new vision to come in. And so it's this delicate and lovely balance, I feel, that Dr. Bob is helping us work through, of this acknowledging and letting go of the past and being open and getting ready to embrace the future. So that next workshop is open again to everyone in the community, and I really hope you'll be able to attend. It's 2 hours, bring a lunch, and we'll be in here in the sanctuary. And I'd like to also add that President Dan and Vice President Steve, they are working with Dr. Bob to help with those workshops and those next community gatherings. And this is the other part of the tributary, is Rev Deb and I are working on kind of the next branch that's happening. And there's what's called a profile packet that the Home Office asks us to put together. And that profile packet tells the story of everything, our facilities, our community, what we do here, and it's put up for as what they call an open pulpit. So when we're ready to open up that position for people to apply, that profile packet tells the story. It tells the story of our center. It tells the story of the Bellingham and Whatcom County community a bit more. So somebody who's a candidate can look at that a bit more. And so we're going to start working on that packet now, and those paths now are going to be rolling parallel. So that's where you kind of see those two things happening at the same time, maybe in some different paces. So that profile packet, it's really a lot of facts and data, much of which we already have access to. So they ask for things like, of course, presenting your budget information, your financial status of the center. They like to know things like, tell us about your grounds, your facilities, what's the square footage of the building. They like to ask questions about attendance numbers, membership numbers. Do you have teen programs? Do you use your space for rental? It's those kinds of things that we have information for, and it's about compiling all of that. So you can see how we can give a candidate kind of this quick summary about who we are, what we do, and through that it will reflect some of our values, and it'll certainly reflect just the status of our center, the health and the vibrancy of it too. There's another part of that where we get to create-ish 5 minutes or so of a video that tells the story of our community as well as the broader community. And so we're going to start work with a smaller communications group and start to storyboard what that's going to look like and then keep working on that over time. So March is going to be busy that way. It's really about thinking about both of those paths and getting started with this process to keep us moving along and moving forward. So I'll be around a little bit after service if folks have more questions, but I'll leave that there. And then, of course, on the 16th is our annual general meeting, and also hope you'll attend that as well, because we'll do a little bit more about updates again at that time. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much. There is so much going on. I'm going to just do the announcements quickly because it's the first Wednesday in the month. It's Spirit at Work breakfast. And Rabbi Kalish is our speaker for March. And you can just register for that at the Ask Me desk. And that's a way to meet other people who are looking at the work life, your job life, your businesses, and how you can do that guided by Spirit. Our next slide, this is exactly what Ron was talking about. Next Sunday after service, beginning to imagine what we want in our next minister. And the Sunday after that is our annual business meeting. Everyone's invited, not just members. So if you're not a member but you want to learn more about the center, go to the annual meeting and you'll hear more about how the last year went and what's coming up. And then we have, if you are a singer, if you love to sing, join Tabor the March 16th in the evening, 6:30 at the sanctuary, and just have fun with singing.
And you don't even have to be a singer or consider yourself a singer to come
Exactly.
to this community song
Exactly.
circle. This is actually for a lot of you who might also feel like, oh, I'm not a singer. Come and be a part of community and just lift your voice together with us. We learn really simple songs. It's a fun way to get together.
Good. And finally, I just want to let you know we usually have a men's and women's group meeting, and because there's so many things going on, we're going to have to cancel that for this month, but no, they're coming back in April. So that is it. Thank you so much. I love being with you, and we'll go out with song.
All right, if you're able, if you want to stand with us, and we'll sing out into this day. Blessed day, I am thankful, grateful heart, I am whole. Glory be to the power of this mind that I know. Soulful praise to the wonder, freedom, sing a joyful song. Calling love to the center, lifting all is as one. I sing it now, so it is anything I dream. It is singing now, so it is. Think bigger now, so it is. I'm holding this vision of peace, knowing a world of harmony. Calling love to the center, lifting all. We are free. I sing it now, so it is. Anything I dream, it is. Singing now, so it is. Think bigger now, so it is. I'm holding this vision of peace, knowing a world of harmony. Calling love to the center, lifting all. We are free. Calling love to the center, lifting all. We are free. So much gratitude for you all being here today. Enjoy the week, and we'll see you again soon.